the King J, back with another video. I've seen this video, everything wrong with Tekken 8, and this is on the Thescore. Am I correct? I don't know if I've said it wrong. I butchered it. The Thescore Esports website, or YouTube, should I say? And I wanted to see what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything wrong with Tekken 8. It's a kind of a title that I feel like resonates with a lot of people that don't have the voice to say it because they're either esports players or, you know, they're getting fed by Bandai Namco. So, you know, I want to see what everyone is saying and if it's true or not, man. Because, yeah, like, I don't feel like there's people talking up, but there's not a lot. And I feel like we've seen in the past that if you talk up, things happen. We've seen it with the Jumanji stage. We've seen it with Jack, you know, make some noise move. So we've seen it. But let's just see what's going on. Okay, so this is at Evo, Las Vegas. Shout out to Atif and Nee.
What were your initial impressions of the Season 2 patch as a player?
I think that was the worst patch ever in the history of Tekken.
The initial reaction from the community was one of, I would say, disbelief. I think a lot of people were expecting that there was going to be across-the-board nerfs to a lot of characters.
They really emphasized like this season is going to be like a defensive season. We're going to be improving defense and this and that. And then they showed nothing but like the craziest offense we've ever seen in a Tekken game. And we're just like, this is the defense patch? Like, where's the defense, bro?
Tekken is always about small poking, and risky guard has always been nice. From the beginning of Tekken, we have seen like a lot of 50-50s, a lot of forced situation where you have to block, and the risk of doing 50-50 is very less. So we have been complaining from the start, and then they made them worse.
Oh, this is not looking good for Arsene. He has to get out of here. Yo, want it! He got it! Oh my goodness, Arsene!
The system changed very heavily.
Just for context, everyone that uses Ana, if you're somewhat good at this game and you use Ana, you know that you're going to get a result. This character just steamrolls you with the amount of 50-50s that she has, especially with the debuff property that she has in the game. I think she definitely, I don't understand why she's gone this far in Tekken 8 lifespan and not been, they've nerfed her once, but it's still not enough. She's still top one in my opinion. Like, what's causing them to take so long? If we talk about Tekken World Tour and say, okay, yeah, but they got a Tekken World Tour, bro, maybe you need to just not do a Tekken World Tour for a year and get this game sorted, because it's ridiculous how long it's been like this, you know? I know a lot of people say it in a nicer way, and I'm just going to put this out there. Maybe the way how I've said certain things may have rubbed people up the wrong way in terms of the way how I think about Tekken 8, but I'm telling you from a place of care. I've been playing Tekken for a very long time. It's got a large part of, you know, my childhood dreams, and even being able to, you know, do content creation full time. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I see a game is like this and it's just not how it should be, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, yo, this is not good. And I'm speaking up because I feel like the way how the game has been presented, the offline stuff and the casual stuff, like, you know, story mode, I was saying, yeah, this is sick. Like, everything else was sick. But the actual balancing of the game is horrible. It really is bad. Like, Fakram coming out into DLC Season 2 was good. Ana, not so much. And you're giving character... Actually, let me not talk too much. I feel like, let me just see what this video is saying and I'll say my parts at the end.
In regards to how certain statuses like heat engager and heat dash and stuff like that were changed. So heat engagers went from being super plus on block to only, I think, +9 on block now, which is huge. There's still a lot of situations that you get put into where if you essentially guess wrong, you die. And then some situations where if you guess right, you are rewarded, but even sometimes if you do guess right, you're still not.
They added in moves in Season 2 which were incredibly strong, as in they covered every option. I'll give one example. Zafina's back 1+2. It was a move which basically, it's homing, it's mid, it's safe, it is actually plus when she has install. So it's like there's zero counterplay to that. So
I just want to talk about this move here. What, you know, Zafina's back 1+2, right? Zafina's back 1+2. When they mentioned this in a Tekken talk, you can hear them laughing about the move, right? this is not a laughing matter when you involve money and, you know, a tour. This now becomes a living, like a professional thing, right? For other people. So like, you know, it becomes a job. So like, you know, essentially, let's say, for example, you've got Arsanash, Atif Bart, you've got all these players going to compete. They have to deal with moves like this that are just obnoxiously hard to kind of just get past. You can't even, like, it's just tedious. You're just sitting there and you have to just block it. And it's covering left and right. You can't sidestep it or anything like that. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know how this got past testing. You were so close at the end of season 1 to making this into a game that was digestible. Then all of a sudden, you've added all these new moves that no one cares. Like, we didn't need all of these new moves. Yes, some of the characters, like for example, Leroy has sidestep 3+4. And it's a good move mid-wise, but obviously people can sidewalk it. You could have added this in season 3. We didn't need it in season 2. We just needed the game, the core mechanics to just be okay. But yeah, let's continue the video.
Even if you've buffed sidestep, you've added in moves which counter people sidestepping, and it has 0 risk. So I think a lot of people were like, okay, this is a good system change, but now you've added in all these options to counteract that system change, so nothing's changed.
Season 2 did so much that wasn't even necessarily inclusive. It felt like it just took away earned work part of it. Tekken 8 is really inclusive to beginners, but Season 2 alienated the intermediates. Any defense you learned got patched out. Safe ways to play offense.
Shout out
If you wanna
VDX.
gamble, you want to be a bit of a safer poking player, that got patched out. Characters themselves and the individual designs are what have been so toxic.
But he just
Wow, what a crouch big launch from Hafiz.
that's gonna seal the round likely.
Combos that take too much. They're too long.
Round 3 pools and Knee is out of the tournament. Wow.
It's very technical.
Ah,
thing, but
BIC.
I think character who has 10 frame heat engagers are really strong. I think Anna and Brian currently are like the strongest character right now. Brian damage is insanely high. How we think about Brian is like counter hit combo. That's the strength about Brian, like wall standing 3, power 3, QC back 1+5, anti high. But these characters, I think damage is high and 10 frame heat engagers. In heat, they both are insanely good. Anna is such a strong character because first
QCB1, which is this move, has no reason being +5. I would say maybe +1, +2 even. Anything above that, nah, +5 is insane. Brian has never needed those moves. He has QCF 1+2, which is also safe, and it goes under high moves as well. So it's just like, what's going on? Like, why do we need Brian to have all of these stuff? He's like, again, character expression and stuff like that. Like, Brian was always like slow on the buttons, but he was counter hit heavy. But you're giving him moves where he can come in from range 2 and just do QCB1. I have to guess now because it does, not only does it do chip damage, but it's +5 and you're close. I have to guess. But then also you have QCF 1+2. Yes, you give up your turn, but then I'm scared of QCB1 because it does chip damage and +5. Like, it's just not making sense. And some people will have this argument of, but oh, running free is heavily a plus. Bro, Brian has no business having an electric. This is basically essentially, and I know people be like, oh, well, you can't compare it to electric. But it's +5. Electrics are +5. Obviously, if that counter hits, you get a combo. Obviously, the difference between that and electric, even if it doesn't counter hit, you're going up in the air, right? This being +5 and being a high, and, you know, going even further, I might even be wrong, but it looks like it goes further than electric, is a very strong move. It steps in and but yeah, I don't know, man.
thing is her damage is super high. Her wall combo damage is really nice. If I punish you with while standing 1 to 13 frame punish, you have to block a 50-50. If I do 2 into forward and just block it, it's really far. I think that's almost broken. Her recovery is stupid.
The way that Anna released
I
in
agree.
season 2, I was saying that she is every problem with Tekken 8, and she, like, this whole
Thank
season
you.
was made for her. Full crouch
Thank
after
you.
engager made
Thank
for her.
you.
The chip damage with the debuff made for her.
Sister trap. Boom.
Listen, MYK, thank you for talking up the truth. Thank you. Anna is everything wrong with Tekken 8 right now. Everything wrong. Everything wrong. And I'm happy people are talking up. Happy. Because I just want the game to go back to how it was. I love Tekken. I do not like Tekken 8. And I've always been clear and open about it. It's just, I don't know how it's got to this stage. I understand we want to be inclusive to everyone. Casuals want to have fun and stuff like that as well. But man, the 50-50s are so obnoxious to deal with.
You go into the full crouch mix here, and Octave going to get the wall as his reward in addition to the heat activation. Oh, and then the 4-4-3-2 comes out.
There are more upsets happening. That's just purely because the nature of the game being more aggressive, and aggression is a lot easier than defense. So having more of a focus on aggression is always going to allow for that dark horse to be able to beat that person who regularly, you know, wins tournaments or places in that top 8.
Get rid of coaching as well.
Oh, break her legs.
Is that finished? Oh. Crazy scenes.
The game, I think, is going in the right direction now. Finally, we have seen top 8s with more top players and then less random players, which means the game is kind of stable.
At the end of the day, which is something interesting, is that the top player.
Hey, the game's going in the right direction. In terms of balancing, I can see it. I don't see why Devil G needed a while-standing 14-frame launcher. Didn't really make sense to me. Oh, okay.
Are still the same guys that are winning before. And that's because Tekken is that type of game which is so comprehensive, it's so deep. To become the best, you have to still put in a lot of time, and this is what these guys are doing.
So there is some proof there that defense and hard work definitely does pay off.
Double down forward ones all over the place. Sultan, what a down jam, and Arslan Ash takes another evolution.
Undoubtedly, the game is getting better. I think you'd have to be pretty angry to deny that it's getting better.
The developers acknowledged that they understand the community didn't like what was presented to them in Season 2. They've said that, look, we're going to be making changes, and that communication was very important.
I think the dev team is in a bit of a tough spot where 1,500 changes were made, and they were pitching it, they were selling it as total overhaul of the game. And when all of that is almost universally rejected, how do you backpedal that? Do you slowly try to fix it, which is the approach they're taking?
Everybody's going to have their own opinion on all the technical stuff.
I need to see the date of that tweet. Hold on.
Backpedal that? Do you slowly try?
Oh, it doesn't show the date. Oh, April the 14th. We're now in September. It's been 5 months later. There's characters in the game, Claudio, that need changing. Like, you know, that jumping move that force crouches you, the jumping punch move. I don't even know where it is. Up back 2 or something like that. That force crouches in your +4. Insane. Why? Why does that even need to be there? Why is he running 2 cancelable? Like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, imagine if QCB1 for Brian was cancelable. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think he's running 2 should be cancelable. Yeah, it's a bit strange to me. Yeah, it's weird. Let's continue in the video.
Try to fix it, which is the approach they're taking.
Everybody's going to have their own opinion on all the technical stuff within the game, but ultimately it's going to come down to Bandai figuring out how to make everything more balanced for everybody as a whole.
I would love to see less patches. I think it's cool, but I understand that we're in a different time, so how we navigate that's going to be something for smarter people to figure out.
What did you just say?
Make everything more balanced for everybody as a whole.
I would love to see less patches. I think it's cool, but I understand that we're in a different time, so how we navigate that's going to be.
Less patches? Bruh, are we playing the same game? There's lots of things to be sorted. You just said, bruh, you said 1,500 changes across the board. And you think there should be less changes. The game is not in the correct state. I'll let the video land.
Something for smarter people to figure out.
Thanks to our friends at Omen for sponsoring this video, and our upcoming documentary about Arslan Ash seeking his 6th EVO Tekken title. This year, Omen has been
Shout out to Arslan
to possibility by sending us to amazing esports events all over the world, so we can tell.
Alright, cool. So that's probably like a sponsor bit there. You know what? I just need to talk about this because this is crazy. Like, less patches. Why would we have less patches when the game is how it is? And, you know, there's something I want to talk about. So obviously you said, like, obviously shout out to FDX. Not going to get at you directly for what you said, because I don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like you said what you said because you want to see, I'm assuming you meant you want less patches because, you know, patching the game becomes very hard to kind of like, you know, get used to a game, especially if, you know, you're not playing it as regular as, you know, the creators, the pro players and stuff like that. I am assuming that. But judging by what you have tweeted saying, you know, Tekken TNS today, testing out some things I've been working on, depending on how it goes, probably taking a break to dive into 2xKO. So that means you've had enough. You know what I mean? And then obviously you play 17th out of 240 players. And you said, we'll have to pause my serious Tekken grind for now. Sad face. It makes sense to focus on content for 2xKO or Street Fighter 6. So, you know, this kind of makes it look like, you know, even like, I would say you're the most positive Tekken content creator. Even you have been swayed by the way how the game is, right? And this is not me trying to push no agenda against the game or anything like that. That's not my case. I kind of want it. I want this game to improve so I can actually do content creation properly. I don't feel like I can in this game. I can't stream it. There's lots of cheaters. I can't make content because, you know, I'm not really enjoying the game. I've even gone to previous games. But just looking, you know, outside of my bubble and seeing, you know, what other content creators are doing, the main man is enjoying Dead by Daylight. Am I saying the right game? Is that the game? Yeah, Dead by Daylight. You sound like you've moved over from 2x to moved over to 2xKO and Street Fighter 6. And this is what I was saying around season 1, is that the game, like, I remember the Clive tweet I made. And the Clive tweet that I made was, keep making decisions like this, you're gonna end up killing the game or ruining the game or whatever. And everyone jumped at me. They're throwing their forks, knives, everything at me on Twitter, as they do. And it's like, okay, you brought up this narrative that, yeah, you know what, I'm just talking trash, whatever. But you have the bigger content creators, 3DX, the main man. They're slowing down with Tekken 8. So was what I said bad? Was what I said a lie? Because what I said is what's happening now. And the reason why I was so harsh with it, which, you know, maybe it might have rustled up a couple feathers, I understand. And maybe I could have been a bit nicer about it, which is something that I'm trying to do now, is I was trying to prevent this from happening. I could see the direction of the game already. Like, I could see what direction they were taking it in. And I was like, no, I don't want this direction for Tekken. You could check my earlier tweets. You could check everything that I was saying prior to season 2. Nothing has changed. You know, the ingredients for what I was saying is still there. I was saying the game is too aggressive. There's no defensive mechanics. I've been saying this. And yeah, don't get me wrong. We do have, they have changed stuff, but it's not fast enough. It's nowhere near fast enough. And again, if you're going to use this whole Tekken World Tour, you might need to forget about Tekken World Tour for maybe a couple months and just really start stripping away some of the stuff that's in the game, right? But right now, what I'm seeing in Tekken 8 is you've got a graze over your elbow, you know, you fell over and you slapped a bandage over it. Now, what I mean by that is, and this will probably go over your heads, and I'll explain what I mean. Season 2, when they added the moves, the 1,500 moves that a large majority wasn't even needed, or the changes, what you did is you upset the community. You upset a lot of players. You know, maybe the casuals, you know, the TikTokers that want to make the fun, like, you know, short form content, which, mind you, when I do short form content, it seems to be really working. So maybe this is a TikTok game. I don't know. But anyways, when you have done that, you've upset a lot of people that have paid for your game, that have shown interest to your game and really loved Tekken. And I'm sure they still do. I still love Tekken. I'm not a fan of Tekken 8 right now. The graphics, the first story was cool. Heihachi's story, I don't know what was in that Amsterdam Kush. But we're here. Anyways, moving on. My main issue is that the bandage that you put over has been things like the God of Destruction. So GOD 1 to 8. You know, a lot of pro players, including me, I'm a rank junkie. So what that means is I just like playing ranked and seeing how far I can go. That will keep my mouth shut for a while until when I get to the highest rank. And when you get to the highest rank, you know, nothing to do. People become bored. People want to say how they feel. When people was getting 9999999 in season 1, people became bored of the game. They're like, what else is there to do? In season 2, we can't do that because people that are like GOD 1, GOD 2, GOD 3, 4, they can't get to GOD 8 because they need more people to play, more people to get to the rank that they're at. I'm at GOD 2 currently with Leroy, and that is considered a high rank so far. Obviously, there's people that are maybe at GOD 3. We have, you know, Ninja Killer at GOD 5 currently. He might be, I don't think he's at GOD 6, but he's at GOD 5 at the minute. So the way how we're looking at it is he needs more people to get to GOD 4 and 5, but then for him to kind of push further. So this is going to keep us quiet until the end of season 2. Like, I've clocked the play. We're approaching October and nobody has GOD 6 yet. You know, the end of the season will be January. You know? So that is a bandage. Like, we are not, I don't think anyone's really going to get to GOD Infinite or GOD, whatever it is, GOD 8. I don't think for the whole of season 2. I'll be honest with you. I think we'll be approaching season 3 and then a rank reset again. Right? So that is a bandage. And I've clocked what's going on here. You know, I hope you don't understand and take what I'm saying for not just me trying to be negative towards the game. It's just, I'm trying to do it in the most positive way, but it is a negative subject. The game is not doing well. Armor King, another example. Armor King is going to be introduced into the game, and the game is still going to have a lot of problems. There's certain characters, certain things that need to be adjusted, but they're not doing a big balance patch because we're still in the middle of the Tekken World Tour. Once Armor King comes out, it will be the same thing as Fakram. Probably a bit better because a lot of people played Armor King more than they do Fakram. That's just a fact. Armor King is a super popular character. Armor King brings in sales. If you never had the DLC, you're going to probably buy it now because of Armor King. It's just facts. And they will tell you, like, you know, there's stats proven that Armor King is a great seller for the season pass from Tekken 7. We can do the same thing again after Armor King's out. Let's see how much people are talking about Armor King compared to how much people are talking about Fakram. Moving on, Mirizu. We don't know anything about this character. This character could be shooting projectiles. She can be doing loads of different things. We do not know. Like, there's not a lot to be said. They're going to obviously roll out Armor King. We'll talk for maybe like 2 weeks. You know, the soft spot is usually a week, 2 weeks. You know, if you're a content creator, maybe it might be good to do content. This is advice as well. It might be good to do content for the first 3 days. You know, everyone, you know, is going to probably get views. It's going to spike because people's interest for Armor King is pretty high. But then that will slow down. And then we have another 3 months or 2 months, I'd say 3 months, until Mirizu content comes out. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do then? Because the same problem has happened. There's like 30 plus characters there, right? And there's a bunch of stuff, bunch of interactions, a bunch of weird behavior things going on. Sorry, that's my controller disconnected. There's a bunch of weird interaction and behaviors going on. So it's interesting. The mechanics, I've already said, I don't believe Heat Burst should be a combo that spikes you down and your toes are twiggling in the air and put up, you know, to continue on the combo. It's like Heat Burst should be like how it was in Soul Calibur. Heat Burst, so Soul Calibur's Soul Charge always pushed you away and it reset the neutral. But the person that does the Soul Charge probably has enhancements. Same way in Heat, but when you go into Heat, you have enhancements. This should be used as a move to push you away. If you get hit in the air, you're being pushed away. Not a wall smack, just pushes you away. Like, this will make, you know, interactions a lot more better. Even like combos a lot less long. Right? You'll be combos like boom, 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 tornado, boom, 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 done. Right? I also think tornadoing at the wall. I don't really like that, in my opinion. I kind of like it to just be, you get hit at the wall, you do your combo, that's it. Bounce off the wall. You know what I'm saying? Or you tech roll or whatever. I like that. But some people might argue about, you know, tornado in at the wall. I personally don't think it's great. I would rather have less combo, you know, time and more time to actually be able to move and do things. You know what I mean? Great video, by the way. Obviously, shout out to everyone that's there. Shout out to the creators. There's a lot more creators involved in Tekken 8. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with Tekken 8. I hope they do improve it. And yeah, like, just don't take everything you know, people are just frustrated. This is to the developers. People are frustrated. So don't take everything to heart. Blocking you know, creators, players and stuff like that, or unfollowing them, there's no need for that. They're frustrated, and rightly so. They've paid for a product that it's not what it should be. So, you know, you can be emotional about it, but then they can also be emotional about, we've paid for this. You can't pay for a meal and then the meal is not nice and then expect them to be like, oh yeah, no, it was all right. No, you tell the truth. I don't like it. So yeah, moving on. I just want to say, yeah, I'll still make content, but I'm just not really, like, my heart's not in it fully. I've been, as you know, the channel's always been documenting other fighting games. So I document 2XKO. I'm documenting Street Fighter. I was documenting MK, but MK seems like it's dead. I was documenting Dead or Alive a tad bit, but, you know, that's just, it's not even, no one really talks about it anymore. So yeah, I just hope you lot enjoy this video. Shout out to, you know, Thescore Esports. Really, really sick for what they did. And yeah, man, we'll be on to the next video. Also as well, we do have an Armor King series that's coming out. So we'll be going through all the previous Armor King, all the games, previous Tekken games with Armor King, and showing you moves and stuff like that, and my history with playing Tekken. I think it's kind of a good thing to do. Builds anticipation for Armor King. And it's a character that I like. I like Armor King. I think Armor King's sick, but we're going to get into that as well. So make sure you lot subscribe to the channel. Help support what I'm doing. And it helps keep me motivated to doing more content like this. And yeah, we'll be on to the next one. Peace.